YouTube, YouTube, are you with me? Can anyone now see me? It's saying that it's working, but I don't know if it is. Ah, the beauty of live streaming. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a moment and hope that things are working. Yes, hello, great, wonderful, woohoo! Hello, and terribly sorry about the technical difficulties. I hope now that you are with me, seeing me, and hearing me. And yes, yes, woohoo! So, hello, my name is Anna. I live here in England. This is English Like a Native, and today we are talking about the human body. Now, I have to say before I start that these lessons would not be possible if it wasn't for the support of my amazing patrons. And I had a new patron join the Patreon campaign yesterday. So Dennis, here is your shout out. Thank you very much for your support. And I also have to say that this video is sponsored today by italki. And if you're not familiar with italki, that's a website which provides a connection between language students and fabulous language teachers all around the world. These are affordable, personalized, one-to-one English lessons, which are convenient for you. And they're also super affordable. I mean, they're cheaper than offline tutors like me at just 30% of the cost. So if you are working on a budget, then this is definitely the deal for you, because I've managed to get you a buy one, get one free offer. It is limited, so it's not forever, but if you are interested, then all you have to do is click on the link in the description of this video, head over there, buy your first lesson, and you'll get one absolutely free. And if you do sign up, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear about your progression. So what I'm going to do now is get Facebook back online, because I ditched them when I was having problems with the feed here. So I'm going to get them back online and then we'll start the lesson. So just bear with me. While I am getting them online, why don't you tell me where you're watching from, and why don't you tell me what your body type is? As we're talking about bodies, tell me what your body type is. We did a lesson not so long ago about how to describe your appearance, so hopefully you've remembered how to describe your body type. So give me a shout out, tell me where you're watching from, and tell me your body type. See if you can remember how to describe your body. And I'll just get Facebook going here. Of course, I've got my tea. Are we here? Hello, here we go. Hello, Facebook. So sorry. We have everything in good working order now. So sorry about cancelling the lesson and having to restart, but hopefully we are all here and all happy and ready to get going again. So I have YouTube online. YouTube, I now have Facebook online. Yay! And everything is working wonderfully. So if you are here and you are excited about learning about the human body, how we describe our body parts, how we pronounce our body parts in English, then please now click the like button and let me know that you are excited. Also, if you want to help me out, then click the share button as well and share this lesson with your friends and help me to grow this community. So it is very exciting. I was quite nervous about doing this lesson because I'm typically British and I find talking about bodies a little bit embarrassing, but I thought it was important for you. If you're going to the doctors or if you need to describe something, then you need to be able to pronounce all the words of all the parts of your body. So it's a very important lesson, I think. So I've got people here from Hungary. Hello. Leonardo. Hello. Yuya. Hi. Yuya is one of my patrons. Hello, Yuya in Sydney. Elena in Moscow, hi, how are you? Lebanon, I've got Ali in Lebanon, hi. I've got Julia in the Ukraine. I've got Noor in Sudan. Who do I have here? I've got Julia. These lots of fabulous names that I can't pronounce. Exequiel from Chile. Hola. Do they say hola in Chile? Do they speak Spanish? I'm not sure. I've got Saman in Kurdistan in Iraq. Hello. Wonderful. The people in Philippe in Poland. I think I am medium height and have a slim body. Good. What else? What other body descriptions do we have? Leonardo says, I am more or less skinny. Okay. Okay. Hi in Turkey. Hello, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. It's taken me a while to get the setup right today because if you were watching yesterday, you'll remember on Facebook the writing was back to front because I was filming from my phone. And so today I tried a different setup. So it took me a little longer to get going with the broadcast today because I wanted to make sure everyone would be able to read the writing the right way round. Wonderful. So let's get started. Let's start talking about our bodies. So we're going to talk about the external body parts today. We're not talking about the anatomy, the insides of our bodies. So we're not talking about like lungs and hearts and organs, things like that. We're talking about our external body parts, how we pronounce them and what we call each of the body parts. So let's start with this thing. So this is the head. Hopefully you can all see this now. So we have the head. And obviously on our head we have hair. And we have on the front of our head our face. And on our face we have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Now, mouth is one word that people tend to mispronounce because of the TH. Now, remembering that TH is always pronounced with the tongue between the teeth. So we say mouth. And we have this rounded vowel, ow, ow. It's actually called a diphthong. 2 vowel sounds moving into one. Ow, ow. Mouth, mouth. And our mouth is made up of 2 lips. Lips. So just trying to think now of some phrases that we would use with these body parts that we've mentioned. I recently climbed a mountain, and you might say that because I was high up, I have a good head for heights. A good head for heights. This basically would mean that I'm good with heights. But the truth is, I'm not. I'm frightened of heights, and so I don't have a good head for heights. Let me just make some space here and write these down for you. So, a good head for heights. And heights is a funny word because it's spelt very, very oddly compared to how it sounds. So, heights, heights, I, heights. Making sure we get that TS sound in there. So I should have, after climbing a mountain, a good head for heights. A good head for heights. Talking about I, you might say, we don't see eye to eye. We don't see eye to eye. This expression means that we don't get along, we don't agree. So we don't see eye to eye. Now, you might find that, sorry to make sure that everyone can see this, you might find that you don't see eye to eye with someone that you normally get along with. So your best friend. On a particular subject, you might say, we don't see eye to eye on this. So me and my best friend, when it comes to cooking, we don't see eye to eye. Perhaps every time we cook, we have an argument about how to cook the best, how to make the dish taste the nicest. Maybe I do it one way and my best friend does it another way. And you can say, me and my best friend don't see eye to eye on this. When it comes to cooking, my best friend and I don't see eye to eye. So that's a good one to remember. That's a very common phrase that we use, to see eye to eye. We could say we do see eye to eye. We always see eye to eye. Nose, we've talked about nose quite a lot in the past. Someone might call you nosy. They might tell you you're nosy, which means you're trying to find out information that doesn't involve you. You're asking lots of questions. You're being nosy. So someone might say to you, keep your nose out. If they don't want to give you information, they'll say, keep your nose out. Keep your nose out. I was told a lot when I was a child to keep my nose out. Keep your nose out. You're being very nosy. Good. So then we also have the mouth and lip service. Lips. So lip service is something you can say, is a phrase you can say. Lip service is to, if you pay lip service to someone, you are giving them compliments. So to pay someone lip service is to give them compliments. But with mouth, we generally say things like, if someone is shouting a lot or talking a lot, maybe they're ranting about something and you want them to stop, you'll say, stop mouthing off. Stop mouthing off. Stop mouthing off. Okay, so there's 4 good phrases. A good head for heights. Do you have a head for heights? We don't see eye to eye. Is there anybody you can think of that you don't see eye to eye with? Is there anyone I don't see eye to eye with? I get along with most people, but I'm sure in my life, in work situations, there must have been people I don't see eye to eye with. Have you ever been told to keep your nose out? And would you describe yourself as nosy? And stop mouthing off. Have you ever had to tell someone, maybe in a different way, to stop mouthing off? Be quiet. Stop talking. Stop mouthing off. Okay, let's have a read of some of your comments. Of course, on our head, we also have something we haven't mentioned, our ears. Our ears. And on our ears, we have an ear lobe. This bottom part of your ear is your ear lobe, lobe. And if you have a hole in your ear so that you can wear jewelry, you have your ears pierced. You have your ears pierced. And Julia has said, I'm all ears. That's a good one. The phrase I'm all ears means I'm listening. I'm all ears. Good. So let's have a look on YouTube to see what you guys are saying. If the camera resolution is low, I think you should be able to click settings and, oh no, you can't. Oh dear. I'm not sure if I can change the settings mid-broadcast. I don't think I can. Okay, so this is low resolution on YouTube, guys. I'm sorry about that. I can't adjust the settings mid-stream, so you'll just have to bear with it, I'm afraid. I really like your channel. It's one of my favorites. Thank you very much. Keep your nose out, lip service. Yes, you're repeating what I've said. Good. What... I like to say nose around for going out on the town without a plan. It's not a bad thing to say. I would say to nose around, to nosy around, is to look around for stuff, to search around, to nosy around. Eve ever Sut is saying, are you live every day at the same time? I am going live on a regular basis at the moment, but not at the same time every day, because it's not fair for some students in different countries where this is very, very late or very early for them. So I'm trying to adjust the time each day to give everyone a chance to join. Eric, your YouTube streaming is 1 minute behind Facebook streaming, but the quality on YouTube is much better on my PC. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Philippe, how can I send a super chat without having a credit or debit card? I don't know, Philippe. I'm sorry, I'm not that familiar with super chat. I think you have to have a credit or debit card to do super chat, or maybe PayPal. I don't know. For those of you who don't know what super chat is a chance to make a small donation to the channel if you like what we're doing here and you want to donate. And what it does is it makes your comment stand out, it highlights the comment and it pins it to the top of the YouTube comments board so that everyone can see it for a prolonged period of time. And I also see it very clearly too. So if you want your comment to stand out and you want everyone to see it and you want to give a little back to the channel, then all you have to do is click the $ next to the emoji sign, which is called the super chat function. Cool. To play something by ear to see what happens in the day and if something can happen. Yes, so there's a phrase to play it by ear, which we use a lot actually. To play it by ear, which means just go with the flow. There's not a specific plan. Let's just go with it and see what happens. So you might say to me, Anna, we were supposed to go and watch a film tonight. What's happening? Where are we going? And I say, I don't know. There's a group of friends going for a drink in town. Some people are talking about going to a concert. Should we just go along and play it by ear? So should we just go along with it, go with the flow? Should we play it by ear? I think we should play it by ear. Okay, so that's a really great one. Thank you, Dave, for suggesting that one. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we're going to carry on here now. Does everybody find the low resolution on YouTube a problem? Because if you do, I could try to stop the stream up the resolution and restart. So just let me know if you prefer me to do that. I can do. So talking about hair, just very quickly, a phrase that I used a lot this weekend when I was climbing the mountain was, it's hairy. The climb was hairy. It was quite hairy. And I didn't mean that the mountain had hair on it. I meant hairy, meaning practically scary. So sometimes we say something is hairy when we mean scary. It makes my hair stand up on end because I'm scared. It's hairy. Okay? So that's something to be aware of. So no one's telling me on YouTube that they want me to up the resolution. Okay. Tercio says, why no subtitles? There's no subtitles because this is live. So this is happening right now. I don't know what's coming out of my mouth, so there's no subtitles yet. There will probably be automatic subtitles added later on. Okay, so let's carry on moving down the body. So after our head, we come to our neck or throat. So the throat normally refers to more the front here, but we can refer to the whole body here, the whole body of the connecting part as the neck or the throat. There are a few phrases that we have when we talk about neck and throat. So I'm going to go through a few of them with you now. Sometimes two people, when they don't see eye to eye, might be at each other's throat. At each other's throat. And this means that they are arguing a lot. So they're at each other's throat. They're arguing, to physically be arguing and shouting at each other. You might say that two people are always at each other's throat. Oh, I've spelled that wrong. Others. At each other's throat. So they are always at it. My mum and dad are always at each other's throat. Okay? You might say, if someone is constantly looking over you and watching what you're doing, maybe your boss has asked you to do a job and then he stands behind you the whole time watching what you're doing. Maybe he's constantly asking you, have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? When's that project going to be finished? Is it finished yet? You will say, he is breathing down your neck. Breathing down. I would say my, because I'm talking about me. He's breathing down my neck. He's breathing down my neck. So I have to stay at work late tonight because my boss is breathing down my neck about that project. I'm really sick of my boyfriend constantly breathing down my neck about the laundry, the washing up. So to be breathing down someone's neck. Jan, is it Jan? Jan's said a good one. I have a lump in my throat. A lump in my throat. So sometimes, and this is a physical sensation that you experience, sometimes if you feel emotional, like you're about to cry, you get a lump feeling in your throat. So if someone says, did you find the film upsetting? You might say, well, at one point I had a lump in my throat. A lump in my throat. So I didn't cry, but I did have a lump in my throat. So it just means that you felt a little bit emotional and you got that sensation in your throat, that feeling that you're about to cry. Okay. Oh, Dave has come up with another good one, which is rubbernecking. Rubbernecking. To be rubbernecking, I'll write it down, is to be looking at something that's happened. I would normally use this phrase if I'm driving down the road and I've seen an accident on the other side. And as I drive past, I go like this to look at the accident. I'm rubbernecking. And lots of accidents are caused because of rubbernecking. Because people turn their heads away from the road to look at other accidents. They are rubbernecking. Now, one of you has mentioned the phrase deep throat. Deep throat, in most cases, is a sexual term, which I potentially will cover tomorrow because tomorrow we're having a sex education lesson. So I'm not going to cover it now. I'll cover it tomorrow. It's going to be a later session tomorrow, much later in the afternoon, and we're going to do sex education. Because although it embarrasses me, it's important that we discuss it. So deep throat is one for tomorrow's lesson. Okay. One thing that you might hear is someone saying, sorry, I have a frog in my throat. I have a frog. Frog in my throat. And this means their voice has become croaky. So if you have a croaky voice, so if you're talking and go, sorry, I just had a frog in my throat. Apologies, I have a frog in my throat. I just need to cough. So if someone's voice becomes croaky, then they might cough and say they had a frog in their throat. And that's because a frog croaks. Ribbit, ribbit. That sound is called a croak. Wayne, yes, I need to get a microphone plugged in. Do you know, live streaming is actually really difficult. So it took me a good 40 minutes to set up today to do the live stream, because obviously I'm doing the live stream on YouTube and the live stream on Facebook. I have to do it on different networks so that they don't take down my internet. And I have to make sure that you guys can hear me, so I put on my microphone, but that's all twisted wires around everything else. And then I have to make sure you've got all the descriptions and go live at the same time and make sure you can all see properly. It's hard to manage, actually, harder than I first thought it would be. Anyway, what else do we have? Oh, neck and neck. So you might have remembered the phrase that we covered not so long ago, head to head. To go head to head with someone is to go into direct competition with them. So a boxer would go head to head with his with the other fighter. So the boxers went head to head. But if you are neck and neck, it's slightly different. So to be neck and neck, we use this phrase in a competitive environment to mean they are in equal position. So for example, the easiest way to describe this is if two people are racing. If two people are racing and they are in exactly the same position, no one is in front and no one is behind, you would say they are neck and neck. They are both equal, exactly the same. They're neck and neck. So if you're applying for a job and the two of you are doing just as well as each other, you've got equal merit, then the person who is hiring might say, oh, the candidates are neck and neck at the moment. I don't know who's going to get the job. It's neck and neck. So Colbert is watching us live for the very first time from China. Wonderful. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm glad you've managed to make a live session. Oh, Wayne, it's the first time you've caught us live as well. Fantastic. Do I have any others that I particularly want to talk to you about regarding neck, throat? There's one more, and that is to breathe, to hold your breath. So to hold your breath. You'll hear it regularly, people saying, don't hold your breath. They don't mean, don't do this. What they mean is don't wait. It probably won't happen. So if I say to you, look, I might do 5 live lessons a day, but don't hold your breath. That will mean it probably won't happen, so don't wait for it. Don't count on it. Don't hold your breath. I hope that makes sense. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, then please Facebook, show me the love so that I know that this is good for you and we should carry on going further down the body. Are you finding this helpful, YouTube? Is this good for you? Trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, so actually, we've got love coming through on Facebook. Thank you guys. There's not many of you in on Facebook today. Normally there's like hundreds of you, and today there's only 25. Maybe it's a bad time. Maybe all those false starts didn't help, and I didn't share it. So that probably hasn't helped. If you are on Facebook and you're part of an English group, then maybe share this with an English group, and that would help to boost the numbers. So talking about the neck, there's a very specific part of the neck, which is the back of the neck, that you might need to talk about. The back of the neck is called the nape. The nape. N-A-P-E. Let me write it down for you. The nape. Nape. Like that. The nape. The nape of the neck. And that's the back of the neck. Okay, so moving down the body. I'm drinking peppermint tea, for those of you who have asked. I always have peppermint tea at this time of the day. Makes me feel fresh and awake. Okay, so I'm moving down the body. So we've had the throat, the neck. Here, these bones here are your collarbones. And I know I said I wouldn't talk about the inside of the body, but we regularly mention the collarbones when talking about appearance. So people have said to me, oh, you have beautiful collarbones. If I'm wearing a dress that's low cut, a low cut dress, and my collarbones are on show, then someone might say, you have lovely collarbones, which I know is a strange thing to say. We say the same about our cheekbones. You might say, she's got lovely cheekbones, or you've got very strong, defined cheekbones. So we often talk about the collarbones and the cheekbones. Collarbones, cheekbones. We then have our shoulders. And I always talk about my shoulders because I have a lot of tension. When I get stressed, I have a lot of tension in my shoulders. And so I may say that I need a massage. I need someone to massage my shoulders because my shoulders are tense. Or I might roll my shoulders to release my shoulder tension. And bear in mind how I'm pronouncing that. Shoulder. Shoulder. A lot of my students recently have been struggling with this dark L sound. A dark L is when an L appears in the middle or at the end of a word. And what happens is they just miss it off altogether. So a lot of my students would say shoulders and make a W, but that's wrong. It should be shoulders with the L. Shoulders, shoulders. Just write that down for you. So being very aware of that L in shoulders, shoulders. Okay? All right, so let's move on to the arm. Arm. Now, again, let me write this down for you. Wayne, you're definitely right. I really am struggling with this wire. Hang on. Might be better. So, arm. It may have an R in it, but ignore this. Oh no, what's happened to Facebook? Oh, I've lost Facebook. Why have I lost Facebook? Bear with me 1 second, YouTube. Okay, go live again. 1 second, YouTube. I'm just going to get Facebook back on. Today is a technical disaster. Technical disaster. Three, two, one. Go live. 3, 2, 1. Hello again. Sorry about that. So, picking up where we left off. Arm, it may have the letter R in it, but we do not pronounce that. We don't do arm, arm. We do a nice open, long vowel sound, R. So the tongue should be down, the mouth wide. Arm, arm, arm. And that's the same for if you were to say the word harm. There's no harm in talking about your arm. You might sit in an armchair. Arm. So those of you on Facebook, sorry about that. Some of you have come over to YouTube, which is probably a good idea. The YouTube link is slightly stronger because it's going from my 4G. So if you're struggling with Facebook and getting frustrated, as I am, then maybe hop over to YouTube. The link for the YouTube channel should be in the description of this video, and hopefully we won't lose YouTube. In future, what I may do is just keep the live broadcasts to one channel because it's easier to manage. All right, so our arm is separated, obviously, into our upper arm and our forearm. So you might talk about your lower arm, but mostly we talk about the forearm. Upper arm, forearm. Upper arm, forearm. We may also talk about our arms when it comes to muscles and working out. And this muscle is referred to a lot. Most people will know the name of this muscle, and this is the bicep. Big bicep. Bicep. And lots of people will comment if you have good biceps. They'll say, ooh, you've got nice biceps. Haven't you got defined biceps, or haven't you got large biceps? bicep. Obviously bicep is one, the two, biceps for the two arms, but most people talk about the two because they're normally the same. Your biceps. So I think for a girl, I have reasonably good biceps. Most women don't work too hard on their upper arms, so they don't have big biceps. But because of the work that I do and the climbing and the gymnastics, then I do have quite toned, defined biceps. Of all the muscles, I think that bicep is the most commonly known muscle, known by most people. So we have upper arm, bicep. Then we talk about our forearm. The bend is the elbow. And elbow can also be used as a verb to elbow someone, to elbow them out of the way. It means that you've done this movement. You poked them with your elbow if you elbow them. So you might say, hey, stop elbowing me. Or if you're at a takeaway, a McDonald's. You've gone to McDonald's and it's really busy because everybody wants to buy a burger and you want to get to the front of the queue as quickly as you can. You might decide to elbow your way through. So elbow, elbow. Good. The other joint on the arm is this joint, and this is the wrist. A silent W, R. So I tend to put the lip to the teeth, R, and do wrist, wrist, wrist. Good. Okay, let's just have a look at what you guys are saying. Hi Chum, asking if anyone's here that can speak English fluently. Well, I can. Yes, guys, one good thing about the English like a language community and what I try to encourage is for you to all help each other. So it's not just about me helping you, but about us working together as a community to help one another. So if you want to do language exchanges, if you want to hook up on Skype with each other to practice your English conversation, I think that's a great idea. If you want to ask each other for recommendations on books or websites or other YouTube channels that you found really helpful, I'm not precious. I don't mind. Like, talk about it with each other, tell each other, invite each other to different groups, different resources. I'm here because I want you guys to learn. So let's, spread the love. I don't mind. Okay, hello in Florida. Hi. So let's moving on. Let's move on. So we have wrist. And then we're talking about the hands. Now the hands are really important, of course, and there's lots of words that we use to describe the different parts of our hands. Firstly, someone might ask you, are you left-handed or right-handed? Are you left-handed or right-handed? So if you are right-handed, that means that you dominantly use your right hand. So you write with your right hand, you might generally go to grab things with your right hand, you might carry things with your right hand. So tell me, if you are right-handed, I want you to click the like button now. If you're right-handed, click the like button. Let me know, are you right-handed? If you're left-handed on Facebook, click the love button. If you're left-handed, click the love button. If you're left-handed now on YouTube, click the love, click the like. Okay, so I've got mostly right-handed people on Facebook. I think a lot of people are right-handed. I think that's possibly because that's how we're told we should be. I know when I was a child, I was always told to write with my right hand. If I was trying to write with my left, I was told, no, with your right hand. Sorry, I'm trying to see. I'm pulling you down here because I'm trying to see the screen over here. Let me move this so that I don't clash it. Okay, so we talk about being right-handed or left-handed. Okay, Julia, save that question for the end and I'll come back to that at the end, okay? So I was left-handed, I think, when I was younger, but now I am right-handed because I was kind of pushed to be right-handed. But still, sometimes I do things with the other hand, like I change my knife and fork around. So you're supposed to have it a certain way round, but I always eat the other way. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, we've just had a super chat come through. So Manaka 2006 has just sent 500 yen. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Manaka 2006 has just sent a super chat to the channel and with a comment, "You look beautiful." Wow, I'm blushing. Thank you. That's very, very kind and very much appreciated. Okay, so with our hands, we might want to talk about the different parts of the hand. So this part of the hand is called the heel of the hand. This is the heel of the hand. And you might mention this if you fall and put your hands down and hurt this part. You might graze the heel of your hand. And obviously that would hurt, but this is the heel of the hand. This whole section here is called the palm. The palm. So we'll come back to palm in a moment. Raphael has just mentioned something really cool that I hadn't remembered. But if you use both hands, you are... Is that the right spelling, Raphael? I hope so. I'm going to copy your spelling. I'm not always great at spelling, guys. Because I'm dyslexic. I don't know if anyone knows what that means, but if you're dyslexic, it means you have trouble with words and spelling. It's like a learning difficulty, but it just means your brain works in a different way. And spelling is one of the things that my dyslexia has a problem with. So, ambidextrous. I think that's the right spelling. Ambidextrous. So if you use both hands equally, you're not right-handed or left-handed, but you can use both, then you are ambidextrous. It's a great word, ambidextrous. I'd love to be fully ambidextrous. Okay, so we were talking about palm. You may know someone who, or you may have come across a palm reader at the fair, or some people offer that service to be a palm reader. Something to be aware of. A palm reader is someone who tells your fortune based on the lines of your hand. So these lines on your hand, the lines on your palm, some people believe can tell your future. And these people who can read the lines on your hand, they are palm readers. Palm readers or fortune tellers. Fortune tellers. There are some very famous lines on your hands that most people know, and that is the lifeline, the big one that goes around your thumb. The lifeline. And I think that one's the headline. Headline, and maybe that's the heart line. I'm not sure, but that's definitely the lifeline, the one that comes around here. So the palm readers, lifeline. What else do we have with palm? Oh, a great phrase that we use regularly is to palm somebody off. So to palm off, phrasal verb. To palm somebody off is to get rid of them. It's basically like putting your hand in their face and going, no, thank you. To palm them off. It can also be to be ripped off, to be similar to being ripped off. So if I have some computers that don't work, maybe mobile phones, let's say mobile phones. If I have a mobile phone that doesn't work very well and I want to sell it, but the person I'm selling it to doesn't know that it's not working well, I might very quickly say, oh, you can have it really cheap because I just want to get rid of it, but it's fine. I am palming it off. I am palming it off to you. So I'm getting rid of it. It's a bit dodgy. To palm it off. To palm it off. Great. Lovely. All right. So what else do we have? We have thumb. Thumb. This is a difficult one for pronunciation because we have that famous TH and we have a silent B. Thumb. So that's silent and that's to be concentrated on. Thumb. We don't do thumb, just thumb, thumb, thumb. Good. So we have our thumbs and we obviously have our fingers. Fingers. Lots of people have trouble with this NG sound. Back of the tongue high, and this is a nasal sound. Fingers, fingers, fingers. But each finger has its own description. Do I know all of them? Yes. So this one is your index finger. Your index finger. I don't know why it's called an index finger. Maybe someone else knows. And if you know the origin of why it's called the index finger, obviously it's an important finger, it's your pointing finger. But if you know why it's called index, then please share it with us. This one, obviously we don't want to face it that way because that's bad. It means bad things. But this one is your middle finger. Middle finger. This one here is your ring finger. It's where you wear your wedding ring if you're lucky enough to get married, or unlucky enough, some people might say. So you have index, middle finger, ring finger, and your little finger or your pinky. Some people call it a pinky. Little finger or pinky. So let me show you these. So starting next to the thumb, we have index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger or pinky. Good. Also, I've just remembered, if you're friends and it's very informal, I wouldn't use this at work, but if you want someone to promise something, so if you say, okay, I'll take you on holiday next week, and you say, do you promise? You might add to that, pinky promise, pinky promise, and then that person has to link their little finger to your little finger and say, pinky promise. So to do that, it's just a silly tradition to do a pinky promise. I promise. We shake on it with our pinkies. Pinky promise. For those of you asking, no, I don't have any rings on any of my fingers. And those of you may work it out, that means I am not married. I'm not lucky or unlucky, depending on how you see it. Okay, so people on Facebook are having a problem watching. They say they can't see anything. If you are having a problem, my suggestion is to head over to YouTube. I think that is the best bet. Facebook has been having lots of problems today. So head over to YouTube. Let me just say this I'm going to with you in a second. Head over to YouTube. It's much better. Link is in the description of this video. Okay, great. Come to YouTube, Facebook, and I'm going to close this stream down in just a second. So we've got our hands. We've got our hands, and if we're talking about the very ends of our fingers, these are our fingertips, our fingertip. And then the little lines on your fingertips are called your fingerprints. If you are unlucky or naughty and you get arrested by the police, they will probably take your fingerprints so that they can identify you or link you to a crime. So fingerprints from your fingertips. On the other side of our fingertips, we have our fingernails. Our fingernails. And you may be asked on a regular basis to cut your fingernails. Cut your fingernails. Okay, so we have fingers, fingertips, fingerprints, fingernails. Oh, these things are your knuckles. Your knuckles. And if you hit something, you might graze or hurt your knuckles. When I was younger, I heard the phrase, and I've heard it a few times since, to give someone a knuckle sandwich. And this means to hit somebody. So hopefully you won't hear this. Give somebody a knuckle sandwich. So you hit them with your knuckle. To YouTube. Okay, so do come and join me over on YouTube, and we'll continue the lesson there. And don't forget, tomorrow is going to be I say join me on, okay, yes. Tomorrow is going to be a sex education lesson. So we're talking about sexual vocabulary. So do join me tomorrow as well. But YouTube is your best bet. The link's in the description of this video. So I'll see you on YouTube. Bye. All right, so that's finished there. I can concentrate on you guys. So to give someone a knuckle sandwich. Great. Well, not great. Let's hope that you never get a knuckle sandwich. When I was younger, I'm just putting my bits and bobs down. When I was younger, I used to do a bit of boxing, but I didn't like hitting my coach. I didn't mind hitting the punch bag, and I didn't mind hitting the pads, but I didn't like hitting my coach. I didn't like giving him a knuckle sandwich. That upset me greatly. Okay, so that is the arms. And then we move down and we have the chest. We have the chest. There is a phrase that we use with the word chest, and that is to get something off my chest. So get it or something off my chest. And that's when something has been bothering you, when you know something and it's bothering you and you want to share it, but maybe you're scared too, when you finally share it, you are getting it off your chest, as if this secret is a weight on you, and you've finally gone, "Ugh, I told you, there's the information, I've got it off my chest." So I might say to you, is there something you want to get off your chest? Would you like to get it off your chest? Or afterwards, I might say, aren't you glad you got that off your chest? Hello, Anon, Anon. You're saying, sup, teacher? I guess you mean what's up? It's a way of saying hello. Hi. So, to get it off my chest. Do you have something to get off your chest? Good. So, obviously, on our chest, men and women are different. But on our chest, we all have nipples. We all have nipples. And this word has, again, a dark L sound. Of course, if we're talking about one, you might say nipple with no S, the left nipple or the right nipple. And when we're talking about both of them, we talk about our nipples. Nipple. Pulls, and it's a Z sound, not an S sound. Nipples, nipples. Okay, so when you jog, when you run, sometimes your shirt will rub and hurt your nipple because it's what we call chafing. It's just rubbing and irritating the skin. So if this happens on your nipples, then you have what we call jogger's nipple. Jogger's nipple. And we say this as singular, not we don't say nipples. We say jogger's nipple. Ah, I've got jogger's nipple. My nipples really hurt from running. And it's just where your clothes have rubbed on your nipples and made the skin sore. You have jogger's nipple. Obviously, then we would talk about, for a woman has breasts. Breasts. Important that we articulate the tongue properly for this. Breasts. You have an STS. Breasts. So you don't want to mispronounce that. STS, breasts, breasts. They are also referred to as, well, a number of other things, but sometimes they're referred to as boobs, and other times, less politely, they're referred to as tits. What else? Well, there are other words, but they're not so common. These are the most common ones. So we have breasts are the technical words, the formal word. So if you're visiting the doctor, maybe you have a lump in your breast that you're concerned about. Then you would say, "Doctor, I would like you to check my breasts, please. I think I have a lump, or I have pain in my left breast." If you're talking informally with your friends, you might say boobs, boobs, and slightly less politely, but it's still not a swear word, we would say tits, tits. Okay? But breasts is the formal way of saying it. Men also have, technically they have breasts, but we don't talk about them having breasts because they're not big, but they have breast tissue. So they still have this kind of fatty tissue here. When a man is slightly overweight and he has quite large breasts, for a man, when a man has what look like breasts because he's overweight, in an informal way, and this is informal and it's not very polite, so I wouldn't use this, but to be aware of it, if a man has boobs, we call them moobs. Man boobs, moobs. This is slang. So if someone is saying to you, hey, look at his moobs, they mean look at his man boobs, but it's not polite. What else? What else do I need to tell you? Okay, so below our boobs or our chest, we have the end of our rib cage. Of course, we're not talking about the inside, but sometimes you might need to refer to your ribs. It hit me in the ribs. So your ribs are your bones that protect your lungs. And you might take a bash or an elbow to the ribs. So you may say, ow, you just elbowed me in the ribs. So make sure you're doing that BS, ribs, ribs. And the S is voiced, so it sounds like a Z, ribs, ribs. Okay? Oh, there's a good one that's come up. You might hear the phrase tit for tat. Tit for tat. Not tit for tit, tit for tat. I don't know where this phrase comes from, but it doesn't have anything to do with boobs. It doesn't have anything to do with breasts. The phrase tit for tat just means, how do I explain this? It means to be petty, to be, so let me get up a good description for you because I'm finding this hard to explain. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. It's what people do when they fight. So tit for tat. So tit for tat. Actions done intentionally to punish other people because they've done something unpleasant to you. So that doesn't make it any easier to understand. So basically, if someone does something unpleasant to me, maybe they hide my car keys in the morning. So maybe my housemate hides my car keys in the morning so that I am late for work. And that's a very unpleasant thing to do. So in return, I put laundry powder in the sugar so that when they make tea with sugar, they will have laundry powder in their tea. So one unpleasant act to come back from another unpleasant act. So one unpleasant act answers another. And it's very silly, it's very childish, immature. This is called tit for tat. It's unimportant, silly, petty argument, tit for tat. I hope that explains it clearly. It's not something I've had to explain before. Okay, so tit for tat. Good. Okay, so carrying on. Ribs we were on to, so poking the ribs. Then moving down, we have the stomach, or the midriff, or the waist. There's so many ways to explain the middle of your body. So the middle of your body is technically called your torso. So from here down to your hips is your torso. The middle is the torso. So the middle of your body is your torso, but we don't say this very often. We tend to talk about the chest, or this part, which is the midriff. Midriff, or the tummy sometimes, which is more slang. The tummy, I use this word all the time, my tummy. Or stomach, although stomach can also refer to the inside, your actual organ, the stomach. Or your belly, which is another slang term. Your belly. And we call it belly more often because this is your belly button. Your belly button. Let's write it up here. Oh, no. Let's write it here. Belly button. Now, the interesting thing about a belly button, and one thing I want to know from you guys, is some people, not everyone, but some people have an innie and some people have an outie. These are slang terms. Does your belly button go in or does your belly button stick out? Some people have an outie, and some people have an innie. I have an innie, most people have an innie, but some people have an outie. So do you have an outie belly button? I'd love to know. My sister has an outie. I have an innie. I think it has something to do with where they cut the umbilical cord when you're born. If it's very long, then it doesn't go in. I don't know. But there you have your belly button. And most people don't like someone sticking their finger in their belly button because it can be quite sensitive. We also sometimes will talk about belly button fluff. So you know, if you have a deep belly button, you sometimes get fluff, bits of fibre, dirt in your belly button. When people talk about belly button fluff, it's a thing. It's like, ooh, it's like belly button fluff. I don't know why we talk about it, but we sometimes do. I've taken his arm off. Oh dear. Oh no, my man has lost his arm. He's armless. That's a pun, a play on words. He's armless. He's harmless. Okay, so Eric has an innie. Sri Kutan has an innie. Oh, Colbert has an outie. Yes! Yes for the outies. Anon has an innie. Lots of you have innies. I would expect most of you have innies. I don't know how to spell it actually because it's slang. It's because I've never used it in written English. Some of you are asking me whether it's spelt with a Y ending or an IE ending. I don't know. I've never had to write it. Maybe someone should Google it now and tell us what the answer is. How do we spell innie and outie when it comes to belly buttons? Someone do the research and let me know. Okay, so we've got our waist. So you might talk about someone having a slim waist if they go in the middle. They have a slim waist. And when we're talking about tummy or stomach, you could say I have stomach ache or tummy ache. Tummy and belly are used to describe weight sometimes. So if someone's fat, you might say they have a big belly. Or I might just say he's got a belly on him. He's got a belly on him. He's got a belly on him, meaning he's fat. Or she's got a big tummy, meaning she's got a fat middle, a fat tummy. I wouldn't say those things, of course. So then moving down, we have our hips. Our hips are these parts here. So they come from our hip bones. Lots of women will have bigger hips. So they have a small waist and bigger hips, whereas men tend to be a little bit more straight up and down. So if someone says, I have big hips, they mean their hips sit wide, or they might have wide hips is another way to describe it. Feel like I'm missing something. Oh, of course I am. I'll come back to it. So hips. If I turn us around, this is the back. So you talk about your back. Of course, if you're going for a massage, you normally have a back massage. There are lots of phrases that we can use for back. I'm going to run through a few of them now because I did write them down. So we have to turn your back on. Turn your back on. If you turn your back on something, you abandon it. So if you abandon me, I might say, why did you turn your back on me? Don't turn your back on me. Please come back. We also have the phrase to stab someone in the back. And this means to betray them. So, you told my secret. You stabbed me in the back. You betrayed me. In a positive light, if someone gives you a pat on the back, they don't have to physically do it. It just means that they are praising you. Oh, I give you a pat on the back. You deserve a pat on the back. You deserve congratulations. You deserve praise. A pat on the back. So let me just show you those so you can see them written down. To turn your back on, to abandon. To stab someone in the back is to betray them. To pat someone on the back is to praise them. Then you might want to get somebody off your back. So get somebody off your back. This means if someone is breathing down your neck, do you remember what that means? It means someone's constantly bothering you, giving you a hard time, watching you, pestering you, breathing down your neck. If someone's breathing down your neck, you might want to get them off your back. Like get them to leave you alone. Get them off your back. Some good ones coming through here. I've got scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. That means you help me, I'll help you. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. English Lessons 265 says, I googled it and I found that it is written like this. So an innie is spelled I-N-N-I-E and outie is spelled O-U-T-I-E. Thank you very much for doing that. So we've learned something, all of us together. Innie belly button, outie belly button, spelt with an I-E ending. Fabulous. Thank you. So get someone off your back is to make them leave you alone, to stop them from hassling you. But if someone gets your back up, it means they've irritated you. If they've made you put up your defenses, they've made you stand up and go, that's annoyed me. You've got my back up. To get someone's back up. Different again to someone saying, I've got your back. I've got your back. That means I'm supporting you. I'll look after you. Don't worry. I've got your back. I'm here to help you. So these are the last three we talked about. To get someone off your back is to get them to leave you alone. If someone gets your back up or you get someone's back up, it means you irritate them, you've annoyed them. But if you've got someone's back or someone has got your back, that means they're supporting you. You've got their support. And finally, something might happen behind your back. Like for example, someone might be talking behind your back. They might be talking about you behind your back. This means that they are doing it without your knowledge. And it's usually malicious. Or there's a reason why they haven't told you. Sometimes it could be a pleasant surprise, like they might organise your birthday party surprise behind your back. But normally when you use the phrase behind your back, it means they've done it secretly and maliciously because you wouldn't be happy if you knew. So I booked, I took the money behind his back, or I bought a new car behind my husband's back because he'll be angry when he finds out. So I did it behind his back so he couldn't stop me. Okay, good. So moving down. Now let's talk about the embarrassing bits. So from the back, when we get down to the hips, we have the buttocks, or most commonly known as the bottom or the bum. So we have buttocks, bottom, and bum. These are the common, well, bottom is the most common and bum are the most common. These describe the overall feature. That's your bottom. There are your legs. Oh, my dreadful drawing. So your bottom. That's overall. But if you want to talk about one part of your bottom, this is your, that'll be your your left buttock and your right buttock. So these are your individual buttocks, your left buttock and your right buttock. And together they are your buttocks or your bottom or your bum. Okay? Some people will crudely refer to this as your arse. This is a swear word, so be careful with this one. Americans, I think, say ass, but for us, an ass is not this. An ass is a donkey. Oh, one of those, like a horse, you know. So an ass, that's American, not for this. We say arse, arse. Okay. If you're talking very intimately, what we would call your bum hole, the hole here is called your anus. Technically, this is your anus. See, I'm getting embarrassed now. So the hole is your anus. So if you go to the doctors because you have a problem, you have a pain perhaps in your anus, you mean the hole in your bottom. And we also call this informally the bum hole or bottom hole, but bum hole is more commonly used. So your anus or your bum hole. This parting here we call the bum crack. The bum crack. And sometimes when people wear their jeans very low or their trousers low, you can see a little bit of their bum crack coming through. That's the top of the trousers. Terrible drawing. We would say, oh, pull your trousers up. I can see your crack. So pull your trousers up. I can see your bum crack. Good. Okay. Going to wipe this all off now. Very rightly, JD John has said glutes. So the actual muscle here is called the gluteus maximus. Is that right? The gluteus maximus. So the big muscles in the bottom are called the gluteus maximus, I think. So we sometimes refer to these as your glutes, but usually only if we're talking about exercise. Or if you're talking to a physiotherapist or a masseuse, someone who gives a massage, you might say, can you massage my glutes? Rather than saying, can you massage my bottom? Because that sounds weird. Okay. Okay. So moving round to the front. On a gentleman, on a man, we obviously have the penis. The penis. And the penis is the, you know what the penis is. The male, where the man urinates from and where he produces his sperm. So this is the penis. Now, the end of the penis, just trying to think if there's many words for this. Let me just check. Okay, so the skin that comes over the end of the penis is called the foreskin. And this in some cultures is removed, and sometimes for medical reasons it's removed. If you have no foreskin, you are circumcised. Circumcised. If you've had your foreskin removed, you are circumcised. Other words for penis are, these are slang or informal words. We have willy. Bad words are sometimes this word, sorry. If you are young, then you probably shouldn't be watching this with all these words. Knob is a bad word. Dick is also a bad word. These are swear words and shouldn't be used in formal situations or in polite company. So penis is the best word to use. Willy is a slang term, which is perfectly safe, but these are bad words. Knob and dick are bad words. And the foreskin is the technical term for the skin that comes over the end of the penis. Yes, lovely. Now also, I'm going to just wipe those words off. Also, we have obviously the testicles. So there's the penis, and we have two, in most cases, two testicles. How do you spell this? Testicles. Testicles. Dark L again. Testicles. You have your right testicle. Oh, I missed one off. The penis, another word for penis, again, not a very polite word, is cock. Cock. Good, thanks for bringing that up. So testicles, you have a left testicle and a right testicle. Together, sometimes people call these testes. My testes. Sometimes, and most commonly, people refer to these as their balls. Their balls. I think that's all. Testes, testicles, balls. Okay. Good. Let's carry on. So, on the lady we have a vagina. Vagina. This is the technical term. If you're speaking to a doctor, then you would talk about your vagina. And sometimes, and most commonly, informally, we say fanny would be a term that we would use a lot. Fanny. More vulgar terms for this. So I wouldn't use this word. It's very vulgar. It's not a swear word, but it's not nice. Is pussy. I wouldn't use this word. I mean, some ladies call their vagina something unusual, like their foo-foo, or their la-la, or their tuppence, or their lady bits. Yeah, so people have very strange ways of describing their private parts. Private parts is something that we say regularly. Okay, so the great ones coming through for testicles that I didn't see before. We've got bollocks, plums, and I missed one earlier. Nuts, rocks. Good. Some great ones coming through that I'd forgotten. Okay, so the hair that is around your genitals on a man and a woman is called the pubic hair. Pubic hair. Pubic hair. So, carrying on down the leg, we have one word that's quite difficult to pronounce, and that is thigh. Thigh. TH. And then I. It's a diphthong. So ignore these funny letters. Just listen to the sound. Thigh. Thigh. And then moving further down, the joint here is called the knee. Silent K. N. Knee. Knee. My thigh, my knee. And then your lower leg is your, well, the back is your calf. The front is your shin. Can you see these all right? So we have a silent L in calf. We just have an open vowel, calf, and shin. So we have thigh, knee, calf, which is the back muscle, and shin, which is the front kind of bony area. And that would be your upper leg and your lower leg. And on your knee, you have the main part in the middle, which is your knee cap. The bone that covers the front of the knee is the knee cap. Kneecap. You say, oh, I banged my kneecap. And then coming down the foot, you have the joint of the foot, which is similar to the wrist. It's called the ankle. 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 And then you have your toes. Toes. Z sound. Toes. We have our big toe and our little toe, but we don't really have names that we use for the other toes. So you talk about your big toe or your little toe, and the rest are just toes. I'm sure there are medical terms for them, but we don't commonly use them. The bottom of your foot is called the sole of the foot. The sole of the foot. And the middle of your foot, where it arches up, if that's your heel, and these are your toes. Oh, my drawing's terrible. These are your toes, toenails. This bit that goes upwards is called the arch. That's a dreadful drawing. This is the arch of the foot. The arch of the foot. But the whole bottom of the foot is called the sole of the foot. This part is the heel. The heel. Yeah, and I think that's it. If you're talking about this part, you're talking about the top of your foot. The top of your foot. Well, goodness me. We have been streaming for an hour and a half. We've covered a majority of the body parts. I've done some dreadful, dreadful drawing. I hope that no one has been offended by my awful drawing or by some of the bad words that I've had to write down. And I hope that you have found this helpful. Yes, I found that quite embarrassing actually. But like I said, these things are important. We don't tend to talk about these things that often in the UK, particularly even in the doctors. In the doctors, we get embarrassed about saying some of those words that we've just discussed. So if I have a problem with my vagina and I go to the doctor, I wouldn't say, doctor, I have a problem with my vagina. I would say, doctor, I've got a problem with my lady bits, with my, you know, down below. So I think a lot of English people are like this. We get very shy when we talk about our intimate parts. Just thinking off the top of my head, one part that I missed off is the underneath of your arm here. This is your armpit. It's quite important because some of us shave our armpit. Some of us have smelly armpits. Hopefully we mostly use deodorant in our armpits, so you might talk about your armpits quite a lot. I don't know if there's anything else important that I've missed. Probably missed something, but hopefully you found this generally very helpful. Lots of you are sending nice messages through now. I'm glad you liked it. So before you go, do make sure that you are a subscriber and that you have pressed the notification button. The notification button will let you know every time I'm live and every time I upload a new lesson. I have been uploading lessons every single day for the last 17 days, so please go and check those out because the numbers are falling. They're not getting that many views, so I know that not many people are seeing them. So if you're enjoying learning English with me, then do go and check out some of the other videos that I've put out here, and make sure you give things a thumb up so that YouTube know that you like the content I put out. If you're interested, then I do offer free pronunciation lessons daily on Instagram, so come and join me there. And I'm also on Facebook, as you know. So the links for all these things are in the description box of this video. Don't forget the buy one get one free offer with italki. That is a limited deal, so if you're interested in private lessons, go and check them out. I do also offer private lessons myself, and I have a WhatsApp group which you can get involved in if you're interested. Go to britishenglishpro.com and check out how to get involved with that. Otherwise, a big thank you to my patrons. Thank you so much. And if you want to become a patron, there are rewards for you. So again, the link's in the description. And a big thank you to Manica2006 for your super chat. All the donations make a huge difference because what I provide here is free. Obviously, this is my job. I don't get paid, so any donations are greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. Otherwise, guys, take care. Remember, tomorrow's lesson will be later in the afternoon, and it will be on sex education. So I will be very red-faced, I'm sure. So I will see you tomorrow for our dating and sex education English lesson. Otherwise, take care. Make sure you subscribe. Mwah, mwah. Lots of love, guys. Goodbye.